European banks are having a massive crisis right now, and one of them had a bank run. All right, they recently had a bank run, and they had a liquidity crisis, and they did not have enough cash to give people. All right, and they actually breached their liquidity requirements that are required by federal regulators. All right, so this is huge that this is happening. What happens next? What happens when this is your bank? All right, and I mean, we think our money's secure in the bank, and we're told that it's insured, all this stuff, but is it really? Is it really insured? I mean, just look at inflation. That's been eating away at your bank account every single day. Is it really insured? Is it really safe? Does the bank really have enough liquid cash to give everyone if they needed it at the same time? All right. This is what happened in Switzerland for Credit Suisse. All right. And this was a big deal because people were not able to withdraw their money. All right. There was a massive triggering, and they said it was by, quote, negative press and social media coverage. And this could be true. All right. There was a lot of negative press around what was happening with this bank because stories were coming out that Credit Suisse was getting cash injections from the Federal Reserve. All right. So this was going on behind the scenes. A lot of people were reporting on it, and the bank was suffering a liquidity crisis at the same exact time. All right. So what happens when this is your bank? All right. This could happen anywhere. And this happened because their earnings have also crashed. All right. Lots of big reports have come out for Credit Suisse, and it's the second biggest bank in Switzerland. All right. So what happens when it's the United States or it's other parts of Europe where the banks are collapsing? We've already seen this in China. All right. China had massive protests, and they had to shut them down with tanks because people were protesting to get their money back. All right. Billions of dollars were tied up inside of these banks, and it was one of the biggest banks in this region of China, and people were not allowed to get their money out, and they were protesting, and China brought out tanks into the street. All right. I did a whole video on this. I even showed the tanks and stuff. I believe this was a while ago, but I even showed the tanks, and they were in the street trying to clear people out. All right. They didn't hurt anyone. They didn't run over anyone or anything like that. But it seemed like that was the threat, is we are going to have another Tiananmen Square situation if you don't stop. All right. So this, and they said this happened just from social media coverage. You know what I mean? A negative press. We can have a bank run just from social media coverage. It's kind of, even if that's true, that's kind of dangerous that could just happen because, like a story came out about this bank. Like that's something you can't really control, and you don't have enough cash to give people. All right. If a bad story comes out about your bank, it's kind of just shows what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of people were saying this is a, quote, zombie bank. Right. I saw that word thrown around a lot, and it does seem like this. It's just a bank that's existing to do the bare minimum. All right. It's doing the bare minimum to get you your money and tell you have your money when you check your account, but that's the bare minimum that they're doing. All right. So this could happen at any bank. This also happened in Lebanon. All right. Lebanon had the same thing happen where the government actually shut down withdrawals intentionally because everyone is trying to go to the bank and get their money because inflation is so bad. All right. So the government shut down bank withdrawals, and people have been going to banks trying to get their money back in very, let's just say, extreme ways. All right. People were robbing banks. People are going in with weapons. People are threatening people, all right? And a lot of it is people just go in and do it, and then they surrender right after. They go in, they get their money, they demand their money, and then they surrender after, right? This is happening in Lebanon right now. So are we going to see this in Europe soon, right? Thankfully, this crisis at this bank was averted because they have been getting cash injections from the Federal Reserve, right? Very strange that this is happening, but this is what is happening behind the scenes. So the crisis was averted, but they did drop below their liquidity requirements. They did not have the required amount of cash in their reserves that is required by law for them, all right? So people can withdraw their money and get to it. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think we should be doing about this. There are alternatives for banking, but it's also one of these things that's so ingrained in our system. It's so backed by the government, and it's hard to replace. It's hard to think of a new system, something else that'll work, that'll get this out of it, all right? And this is just a, foreshadowing of what's to come for the United States, for Europe, right? We're going to see all these other countries thrown under the bus. So America's dollar, our dollar is heading towards a cliff, right? It's a bus that's on fire, heading towards a cliff. And we are going to see all these other countries thrown in front of this bus before it eventually drives off the cliff, right? So we're trying to throw all these countries in front of the bus to slow down the bus that's about to go off the cliff. But they are going to be casualties as well, right? They're just going to fall first, and once those are out the way, there's nothing left holding it back for America to fall to, right? So look out for this, guys. We are in the end stages of this dollar scenario. That's what it feels like, of this economic scenario. It feels like they kind of know this. That's why they've been just raking up the bill, jacking up the bill to astronomical levels, just printing as much as they want, because they kind of know. I feel like they kind of know that we are in an end stage of collapse here, right? We are getting closer constantly. So what can we do? There are alternatives. There's gold, there's silver, there's things like that. Obviously, you can put your money into that, but what happens too you can, if you have it in a exchange for stock, like for gold and silver, and stuff goes down, you're just going to be able to exchange that for money anyways. You know what I mean? So if money's worthless anyways, so try to have physical gold and silver on you too, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. I know I'm saying it in a roundabout way, but try to have physical stuff on you too, all right? Physical assets that you can put your money into too, because what if you can't? It's the same thing with the bank. What if you can't get your money or get your whatever out of these certain accounts? It could happen with stocks. It could happen with anything. We saw, I think it was Robinhood stopped people from getting their money out of stocks when there was a bunch of crashes last year, right? I can't remember the exact details, but I remember Robinhood was in the middle of it, this trading app, and they were preventing people from getting their money out of the stocks, all right, because the stocks were dropping so quickly, certain stocks, all right, and they were like, hold up, we can't allow this to happen, all right? So this could happen anywhere, anytime. Any kind of account could be locked out, shut down, anything. Point I'm trying to make is anything you don't have with you right here, all right? Physical cash, physical gold, physical silver, food, all this, brass, copper, all right, all this stuff. Anything you don't have with you right now, you could be locked out of it, right? That's the point. So make sure you have stuff with you physically too, guys, because this could happen at any moment. This is coming to America next, I'm sure, all right? So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you get prepared, and you guys have a big old blessed day.